You know, look, this building behind me opened 87 years ago, and for 49 of those years, as our other guests have been saying, the right to abortion has been enshrined in the Constitution. And now you have a conservative majority saying it's not there anymore, and the political and social reverberations of this decision will be immense. You see also that black fencing behind me that is keeping the public away from an area in front of the Supreme Court where they used to be able to go years ago. And that speaks to how divided and dangerous our politics has become. And there are a lot of law enforcement officers here, frankly, who are getting ready for any potential violence or disorder that could come from this. There are members of Congress. I saw Marjorie Taylor Greene walking past. In fact, I think she's right here now in a scrum of people. I think that's what you're seeing on your screen, with a big smile on her face, surrounded by a retinue. And I'm sure we're going to see more of that as the day unfolds. And we should remember that we're here because of politics. We're here because a conservative majority on this court was appointed by a Republican president. It started when the current Attorney General, Merrick Garland, who had been nominated by Barack Obama, was not given a hearing for 11 months and was not elevated to the court. And then President Trump got to pick 3 Supreme Court justices, including one who was voted on by the Senate even as the 2020 election was underway. And these are the people who joined in this decision written by Justice Alito that strikes down the right to abortion, says it doesn't exist in the Constitution.
Right. So look, here is where we are, and it's not as dire as you might think it is, although I will say, taking away states' rights, the Supreme Court took away New York's right to self-govern on the issue of guns. They struck down a 100-year-old law under the guise of tradition. What? They're just making it up. You understand that? They're making crap up as they go along. They come up with the result, and then they think their way backwards in order to make an argument to support the result that they were after. That is what is going on with the court. The court is illegitimate because the court is not, respecting precedent, stare decisis and all that. And also, you have at least 2 Supreme Court justices currently, maybe 3 if you include, well, maybe 4 if you include Alito and Clarence Thomas, and then add it to Gorsuch and Kavanaugh, who all lied under oath about, stare decisis and Roe v. Wade being settled law during their confirmations. Now, I will say, Amy Grinnan Barrett, she was like a little more circumspect about it. She actually said, well, it's not super precedent. Doesn't mean that I would overturn it. So, she's got a little wiggle room there. But we're all Catholic now. So basically what we've lost is freedom of religion, especially if your religion is no religion. You're not free anymore to not have religion foisted upon your life and your life's decisions. You're not free anymore. Religion is going to be ever present in your days as an American going forward. Okay, so you're not free from religion. And certainly if you practice a religion that believes that the life of a mother comes first, like, I don't know, what religion? Judaism. Do you know what I'm saying? I mean, if you subscribe to a religion that believes that the life of a woman is more precious and needs to be protected at a greater level, because that's what it says in the Bible, just saying. But if you're not free to practice your religion either in many states. Why? Texas, Oklahoma, Louisiana, Arkansas, Missouri, Mississippi, Tennessee, Kentucky, North Dakota, South Dakota, Wyoming, Utah, and Idaho all have trigger laws, meaning their laws have now been triggered by the fact that the Supreme Court found a result they wanted and worked their way backwards, and then for the very first time in American history took away a right that was that was constitutionally interpreted by no less than 3 separate Supreme Court cases. And now they're going after, make no mistake about it, they're going after contraception. There were 2 opinions. I don't know if you know this or not. So let me just brief you real quick. This is easy. So there were two opinions today having to do with Roe. The first one had to do with the Mississippi case, the Dobbs case, which I told you, look, I said before the election, two things were going to happen. We were going to have hearings on the lawlessness and the lying and the cheating and the manipulation of government agencies like the Department of Justice, like the state legislatures, like the state governors, like state secretaries of state, all the way up to 147 congressmen in the federal, House of Representatives, all the way up and through now, we found out yesterday, through the Department of Justice in order to get the result that Donald Trump wanted, which was to overthrow the results of a free and fair election, right? So I said, we're going to have hearings first, and then we're also going to have to live through the decision that the Supreme Court was going to make on the Dobbs case, which was leaked in May, so we knew, and even though we knew, it's still shocking. It's still despairing. It's still frustrating, and it's still enraging. It's still making people livid, even though we knew it was coming. Okay. And now there's going to be an election in just, 3.5 months, not even. Some people vote early. And those two things have now happened. Like the hearings aren't done, but we got enough information now to understand the corruption that was happening at the highest levels of our government. The abject lying, the corruption, the deviousness, the ending of the American way of life was totally, totally within reach, because you had a thug as president of the United States. And that thug was able to put 3 Supreme Court justices on the Supreme Court, and Mitch McConnell got the pick. Mitch McConnell did this. There's no question. Mitch McConnell was the one that held Merrick Garland's seat open for 11 months and yet had Amy Grinnan Barrett confirmed while the election was happening, while it was going on. So you understand how devious they are. You understand what happened here. I know you do. But there were two decisions today. One was on the Dobbs case. The Dobbs case wanted to change the number of weeks that a woman had to make her decision about whether or not she wanted to go forward with a pregnancy that either she wasn't financially ready for, or that she had she became pregnant through a one-night stand, or she was raped, or she was sexually assaulted, or it was her daddy's, or it was her uncle's. Okay, there's lots of situations. So they moved up the timeline. That's what the Dobbs case was. That was 6-3. On top of it, they went even further and decided another question, and that one came out 5-4, with John Roberts, the Chief Justice, dissenting. But the 5-4 decision was the decision to overturn Roe v. Wade. So they went even further than they had to while they had the chance. Okay, so what do we do? Well, there's another co-equal branch of government. The Supreme Court is not everything. Supreme Court is 1/3 of our government. Presidency is 1/3 of our government, and the legislature is 1/3 of our government. And if we can get the legislature to pass a law saying women have the right to choose, we're good.